I can't say that education was the tool that most fueled my appetite. I didn't go to school. I dropped out at first term high. I had dyslexia, couldn't keep up, couldn't make things work. No one knew quite what the disorder was, and I was constantly being punished for not living up to what people thought were my capacity and expectations. Nobody knew what dyslexia was. And as I bumped into walls, getting out from the frustration of the confinement of school, I found other ways in which to express myself, and I found the lust, the thirst, and the desire to read and to know really came from my bumping into theater. If I wanted to excel in that, and if I wanted to make it work, I had to know how to read. I had to really, and I had to learn how to not only read in the literal sense, but I also had to understand subtext and began to look at dissecting paragraphs and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, looking at deeper meaning. Then when you have the coincidence of running into a Robeson who mentors, and running into an Eleanor Roosevelt who mentors, and running into guys who want to share time with you like Baldwin, I all of a sudden found myself in an environment of social experience that constantly educated me, constantly pushed me in directions that rewarded me. I don't know what to say to young people. Yeah, education is extremely important. Education is, yes, but then I say, once you learn the basics in math and learn how to construct a sentence, then what is the rest of education about? What are you learning? What is your passion? Who nurtures you into making the choices that you make? And I find that when I look at the school system, for instance, I would not really want to be I'd like to be a student because of all the options that there are. But from the trajectory of where society and culture goes, I'm not too eager about the school system. Why has society, why have we permitted the schools to be robbed of instructions in the humanities? All the programs of the humanities are wiped out, not only at the university level, but also at the public school level and high school level.
Harry, you know what's so interesting is that the way you described your own schooling and then finding schooling through theater speaks to everything you're talking about. Is the idea that there are so many different ways to learn, and to try and say it has to be this way is not taking the opportunity to actually speak 1,000 other languages. It leads me to think about your work introducing world music to, promoting world music, being a part of world music, showing the different ideas that can happen in relation to others in terms of music. How does that relate in your mind to the idea of this country being so many different people knitted together into one, in schism, in harmony, in all of that happens? Are we looking for a society that celebrates all the differences? Is that what we're really looking for, to become one in your mind?
I don't really.
If in our education of our children, for instance, we celebrate everybody's differences and appreciate them to the point that we can actually teach them all, that seems to me to be a goal that relates to what you've done, which is to bring us all to new places consistently.
I found it necessary to go into spaces that were unknown to me. I didn't really come to know the Jew until I began to listen to the voice of Shalom Aleichem and listen to the poetry that came out of the Yiddish community, and then eventually learn how to sing some of the lilting melodies of Jewish lore. And having mastered that, when I went to Israel and go to other places in the Jewish, there is a reciprocity. I not only come to entertain you, but let me tell you in your own space what I admire most about you and see in you. And I did that in France, and I did that in Haiti, and I do that in Brazil, and I do that in the places where I have had to come upon the mastering of other languages, some of it phonetically, some of it trying to learn. And in that deeper communication, going into those cultures, I found that I began to know more about all the people that ordinarily I would not have known all of these things about.
That's
and
right.
I found in them an acceptance of me that I don't know they would have accepted had I not come to them through the music, through the art. When I did Angel Levine with Zero Mostel, I was quite taken with Malamud's short story and bought the rights to it and fashioned this. This movie didn't do very well, but that's the fault of the audience. But to have known Jan Kadar and to have known people who came out of the Yiddish theater, to have been able to deeply immerse myself in what do you think about, when I talk to Jews on Palestine, it's a very different kind of conversation than most people have, speaking to the issues of Palestine and Israel and all those things. It's a very different kind of debate, a very different kind of exchange. Because nothing that I say makes them feel threatened, yet everything that I say challenges the perceptions that they may hold. I don't think I could have done that had I not understood the rhythm of art and delivery and substance. How do you alienate, or what causes alienation, and what causes seduction? How do you get around these? Thank God for Sean O'Casey and the Irish playwrights that I immersed myself in, because when I did Juno and the Paycock and got the first measure of a reward from something, had it not been for that specific play with this Irish playwright, and then ultimately making sure I met him, to come to know him more and know more about the struggle of the Irish. I would not have come to be able to deal with many of the Irish Catholics I have to deal with every day up in Boston, who are filled with nothing but terror. But when I walk into their midst, I meet them on their terms and engage them in their dialogue. You don't have to know about me. Let me tell you what I know about you, and let's get to it. And I find that this exchange has been more rewarding. I also think that a lot of people have come to, you don't have to believe in the things that I believe in, but do you trust the integrity of what it is that I'm saying? I'm not trying to con you out of anything. There's nothing from you that I want except your love and your approval. That's an awful lot to begin with. But let's talk about how to do this and make it pay off with each other. And I think what's terribly absent now is that we don't have that. It's not a part of our cultural menu. We do not speak to leading people into a deeper insight into the human heart and the human nature and the human spirit. We play the game according to how we want to manipulate the community. I look at television and I look at all the things that I look at day in and day out, and I'm overrun with the sadness that I feel for young people who are engaged in that as their diet, as the thing that informs them. They have no place else in which to hear another sound, another point of view, another theory. Or the news broadcasts are controlled by one central power, and that comes from Wall Street, and they dictate the editorial policy. There are those who will play a game and try to tell you that our diverse press teaches diverse points of view. That's not quite true. It's pretty much all the same.